Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. I just thought I would pop in an impromptu live video. I wanted to talk about self care, especially as it pertains to mental breaks. More importantly, 5 reasons why self care in the form of daily mental breaks benefits you. And if you are an owner of a business, it can protect and actually help with your company's bottom line. The 5 areas is that it will increase productivity and employee engagement. The second one is improve concentration, creativity, and job satisfaction. The third area is they'll be more engaged and productive. It will create, number 4, it will create a culture of self-care and support. And number 5, it promotes a more positive and productive work environment. Hello, I am Leslie Cadet. I am a self-care coach, and I work with female coaches and course creators who really are, they're looking at in the self-development world, helping their clients to really level up and get those transformations, but they need to also make sure that they're taking care of themselves. And so I help them prioritize self-care so they can wake up with more energy, focus, and intention to not only tackle their daily activities with confidence, but serve their clients well. As we all know, our modern workforce or workplace is fast-paced, right? Especially if you go to a 9-to-5 job, and it's often very stressful environment, especially if you work in those high-level, high-stress jobs with deadlines to meet, right? You have deadlines, emails, you've got projects to complete, you got meetings to attend. It can be really easy to become overwhelmed and burned out. And this is why so many companies now are starting to pay attention and starting to encourage self-care in the form of mental breaks throughout the day to their employees. Now, you might think that taking a break during working hours is counterproductive or maybe even lazy, but research is showing that taking regular mental breaks can actually benefit your company's bottom line in several ways. First, it's encouraging your employees, by encouraging them, your employees to take regular mental breaks. That can help with prevent burnout and reduce stress. When your employees feel burned out or stressed, they're less productive, they're less creative, and they're less engaged in their work. So by taking those mental breaks regularly, your employees can recharge their batteries and come back to their work with a renewed energy and focus. And it can result in improved concentration, creativity, and job satisfaction, which can ultimately benefit the company's bottom line. Moreover, when your employees feel supported and they're encouraged to take care of their mental health, they're more likely to feel engaged and invested in their work. And it can lead to a more productive work environment that's committed to achieving company goals, right? So when companies prioritize their employees' well-being, they're going to create a supportive culture of self-care, and that can make your employees feel more valued and supportive. So when you encourage mental breaks, it helps reduce stress, prevents burnout, and can foster a more positive and supportive work environment. And when your staff, your team members feel supported and valued, they're more likely to be happy and they're more likely to be engaged in the work that they're doing. So that has all over job satisfaction. And it can lead to more positive and productive environment. They feel motivated to do the best work, to contribute to the success of the company. And that can have a positive impact on the company as a whole. So what are some ways that companies can encourage self-care in the form of mental breaks? A simple way is to encourage your staff, your team members, to take regular breaks throughout their day. And whether that is going for a walk, maybe that's short meditation, simply stepping away from their work for a few minutes. I've even talked to some people who have what they call Self-Care Friday. And that means that their staff has a part of the day off to literally take care of themselves. Now, managers, CEOs, top-level people, right, leaders, taking mental breaks yourself encourages your team members to do the same, right? Because you're leading by example. Another way is providing resources and support for your team's well-being, such as access to mental health services if they need that, because burnout's a real thing. There's metrics around it that there's such a high percentage of especially women, female entrepreneurs who are actually experiencing burnout on a regular basis. So You want to have these resources available for your team members so that they feel supported. As I said, mental health services, assistance programs, and wellness programs. Again, even just incorporating a self-care Friday or a day of the week where you really actually start focusing on your team. It doesn't mean that you're not focusing on your team every other day, and especially yourself as well, but you're dedicating a day to maybe educating around what self-care really can do for them and for you. And it can help them manage stress, prevent burnout, and that ultimately benefits, again, the company's bottom line. So encourage self-care in the form of mental breaks, because that can have that positive impact on the health of your company, employee retention, your company's bottom line, their well-being, creating that supportive work environment. And you can help prevent burnout, improve productivity, foster a more engaged and motivated workforce, and that's going to ultimately lead to your employee loyalty and dedication to see your company succeed. So let's all take a mental break and prioritize our well-being for the benefit of not only ourselves, but for our companies as well. So I hope that if you needed to hear that today, that it was something that you really needed to hear, because maybe you're that person who is leading by example by not taking those mental breaks. Maybe it's time that you actually see maybe your team members are starting to burn out. Maybe it's time to take a closer look at what you're doing, because what you're doing is what's influencing them. And I know that you want to have a healthy company. So that's it for today. I just wanted to come on real quick and just talk about one area of self-care which is so important. I've talked to many women, and this is one area that seems to be the hardest to do, especially when you're in the middle of a deadline, you're trying to meet deadlines, you're working on something, and you think you have to push through. But all that does is just really doesn't help you as far as your health, because it can lead to burnout. It can lead to a lot of stress. You could have sleepless nights, maybe even monkey mind, because I've had these things happen to me. I'm talking from experience, and I'm just trying to pass it along so that you don't have to experience that. So I hope that you are having a fabulous Friday. Also remember, don't always be working. I hope this weekend you're going to spend some intentional time, with your family, with your loved ones, with people in your life to really create deeper level bonds with those people, and making yourself go all in on that. Because another form of self-care is connection. It is about making sure that we have those people in our lives that mean the most to us. So just wanted to come on and remind you that if you are not practicing some sort of self-care, make sure that you start taking a closer look, because maybe the reason why you're feeling burnt out or stressed all the time is because your self-care is lacking. Anyways, I hope you have a great rest of your day, a fabulous weekend, and I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.